don't judge me.
What's up, Bands in Town Plus family? I'm your host, Ellie Einhorn, and I am so truly psyched for tonight's first performer. Katie Crutchfield got her start in music in a punk band with her twin sister, Allison, called P.S. Eliot. Katie went solo and named the new project after a peaceful creek near her childhood home in Alabama. Last year, Waxahatchee released the indie smash LP, St. Cloud. Tonight, she'll be playing songs from that album and doing a Q&A. Behind those screens, put your hands together for Waxahatchee.
In the Oxbow, depressing by design. If I go along with it, am I lying to you? Watching from a distance, whispering close about anything else. But it's not that far. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. We will coalesce our heaven and hell. My eyes roll around like dice on the field. My mind turns to something useless and trite. My uneasiness materializes. I want you all the time. Sanity nullified. When you're missing me, oh, what do you see? Something wild that you think you'll never be. Something safe that you could tend to and lead. Something versatile to fill all your needs. Maybe I give it to you all on a dime. I love you till the day 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 I die. guess it don't matter why. In my loneliness, I'm locked in a room. When you see me, I'm honey on a spoon. Do you think that you were reading my mind? My uneasiness materialized. I'm waiting all the time, saying that hold my breath, I don't make a sound. I love you that much, any. Love you that much, any. Love you that much, any. Love you that much, anyhow. Can't do much about it now. I want you all the time, saying that nullified. I want you. That's what I wanted. It's not as if we cry a river, call it rain. West Memphis is on fire in the light of day. And give me something, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. I take it for granted. If I could love you unconditionally, I could iron out the edges of the darkest sky. For some of us, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. And I take off driving past places been tainted. I put on a good show for you. And when I turn back around, will you drain me back out? Will you let me believe that I broke through? Tomorrow could feel like 100 years later. I'm wiser and slow and attuned. And I am down on my knees. I'm a bird in the trees. I can learn to see with the partial view. I can learn to be easy as I moving close to you. And that's what I wanted. It's not as if we cry a river, call it rain. West Memphis is on fire in the light of day. And give me something, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. I take it for granted. If I could love you unconditionally, I could iron out the edges of the darkest sky. For some of us, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. Feeling nothing, camouflage the wavering sky. I sit in my piano, wander the wild web by. And the lilacs drank the water, and the lilacs died. And the lilacs drank the water, marking the slow, slow, slow passing of time. Something you might say. Dream about an awful stranger, work my way through the day. Running like a silent movie, running like a violent song, running like a voice compelling, so right it can't be wrong. From a broken record, write it in the dust, babe. I'll fill myself back up like I used to do. Sugar, I won't end up anywhere good without you. I need your love too. Sparse existence, I'll drop down in the fold, lean into an urgent falter, spin silence into gold, running like the crop of kismet, running like a dilettante, running like I'm happy, baby, like I got everything I want. If I'm a broken record, write it in the dust, babe. I'll fill myself back up like I used to do. Sugar, I won't end up anywhere good without you. I won't end up anywhere good without you. I need your love too. Without a tear feet don't ever touch the ground. Run ourselves ragged town to town, chasing uncertainty around the siren sound. Oh, and you watch me like I'm a jet stream, scientific cryptogram lit up behind a sunbeam. You paint my body like a rose, a depth of beauty and repose, a complicated love you chose, where love will land. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows. And we both dig a grave to immortalize all the shortest waves, and we can try to let stillness be. But if I spin off, will you rescue me? Or will I beg you to set me free? I think what's wild might be meant to be. You and me. A tear or a long goodbye. And as we wait for lightning to strike, we are enthralled by the calling of the eye. We come running, we always obey, powerless against the calling of the eye. Swallow my pride, it's mine to quail. I'll put you through hell, I'll put you through hell. I release a ramble of his sight. You illuminate me as I go. It's a classic flight through vacillating eyes. He wants to have it all, and who am I? And I hover above like a deity, but you don't worship me. You don't worship me. Yeah, you stripped the illusion, you did it well. I'll put you through hell, I'll put you through hell. I nurture the one track, taking flight. Let it surround me like a starry night. Let it hypnotize, puncturing the minds of those who canonize a love that is so true it never dies. And I hover above like a deity, but you don't worship me. You don't worship me. Yeah, you stripped the illusion, you did it well. babe. The myth will always be fair weather, babe. We do stupid things in the right way. Spineless head abandoned in vain. A link in that old chain. Lindsay gave me little faith about what tomorrow might bring. There's nothing here to gain. Allison always had a heavy disdain for every link in that old chain, chain, chain. Well, you can't bluff or outsmart, all reason falls apart, yeah. The myth without struggle, baby, can't fill your heart. I take flight on borrowed time. I was once terrified of heights. I say a prayer, I look down when I'm ready to die. If you cross over tonight, you see beyond the darkest sky. You taste the blood of something wild in the light. You might light up in the flesh. You won't hold on to a flame. It's a squalid way to live, but it's the rules of the game. It ain't your fault, it's just a shame to fall without aim. I walk down East 7th Street, a wistful wild depravity, iconoclastic, black and white, dusty and sweet. I tell this story every time. Real love don't follow a straight line. It breaks your neck, it builds you a delicate shrine. You might mourn all that you wasted, that's just part of it all. Tangling up all your good fortune, bearing the heart of the fall. You won't break it after all. Look at us, man and bride, in a grinding sound. guess the dead just go on living at the darkest edge of space. Do 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 do. Mississippi, I'm alone in the alley. What am I supposed to be fighting for? If you build yourself up tall, you can tell me what the future holds. Will you settle where you stand or keep it to yourself? Will you go? Will you go? Crooked light, water steady rolling by. I have a feeling time is a long wave, and it cares about us all the same. That's just one thing I know for sure. 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 Pressed in a book of songs. Ooh, what's left to wonder after we're gone? Oh, and don't spend your whole life waiting on the turning of the season of your mind. 'Cause you are who you're supposed to be. 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 make yourself miserable, and I'm ruled by the seasons in a sadness that's inexplicable, and we will find a way to be lonely any chance we get, and I keep having dreams about a loveless marriage and regret.
That was Waxahatchee with an incredible, incredible set. Let's give Katie just a minute before she joins me live for our Q&A. So viewers, this is your last chance to drop your questions for Katie in the chat. Refresh your drink and make sure to check out the Bands in Town Plus calendar of upcoming gigs to make sure you don't miss, I'm thinking Omar Apollo, Little Dragon, Tank and the Bangas, Fleet Foxes, Lamelda, and loads more greats. All shows are hosted and high-fidelity streams. And now, let's take it back to Kansas City and Waxahatchee. Katie, welcome to Plus.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, it's great to see you again, man.
Yeah, you too, bud.
We have worked together many times over the years, and each time we do, you're more famous.
Wow.
It's true. It's true. This has been so awesome to watch the reaction to St. Cloud. It has just been brilliant. And I have to say, it's been awesome to watch the reactions your fans are throwing in the chat. I've never seen so many crying emojis, and I don't think I've ever gotten as many questions for an artist.
Aw, I'm so flattered. I'm so flattered.
Katie, they love you. Are you ready to take it to the people here?
Let's take it to the people.
Okay, this first question comes from the wildly named Bucky the Doggo, who asks, what was your reaction to seeing Can't Do Much on Obama's Best Songs of 2020 list?
Oh, I was so flattered and so thrilled. It was just, that was a really special one. He's become such a tastemaker. It's really something. That's a very coveted spot to be on his list. So I was honored. I was very honored.
That was so cool to see, man. And he does have amazing taste. Like, he listens to a lot of different stuff, a lot of different genres. Like, yeah.
Totally. It's funny, like, that song's like a love song that I wrote about my boyfriend, and we were joking around like, wow, it might be sweet that he, like, puts that on a mix for Michelle or something, you know?
That is, of course, your boyfriend is Kevin Morby. We had some Morbys in the chat. I'm not sure who, but there's some Morby family here with us tonight.
I love that. Hi, guys.
Well, Cat Jack asks, Katie, what was the first song you learned to play on guitar?
That's a really good question. It's a two-part answer. The first song I technically ever learned to play on guitar was "Come As You Are" by Nirvana, and it was to the first couple. The way you play that song, it's the first two strings only, and so that was how I learned to tune a guitar. Like, if it sounded about right, then that told me that the guitar was about in tune. But the first song I ever learned to sing and play guitar was Malibu by Hole. Yeah.
Boom. How old were you?
14.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
it was kind of like Hole hadn't quite come back around as cool yet. And they were just old enough. So it was sort of a weird time to get into Hole, but I found it somehow.
Totally. That's awesome, dude. Well, Shiva Sauce asks, Katie, who was the last artist or songwriter who completely transformed your approach to music making?
Wow, what a great question.
I thought so too, I have to say. Shouts Shiva Sauce.
You know, I might have to make this one like a little bit personal. And
Okay.
I think that so the band Bonny Doon played on St. Cloud. And when I started hanging out with those guys and becoming fans of theirs, we decided to do a tour together in which they were going to back me up as my band. And when that happened, so that was before St. Cloud, it really like changed my whole approach to the kind of music I wanted to make. Like I had been sort of really wanting to like make more Americana sounding music, or just sort of like find a better way to support my songwriting. And the first time I heard them play my songs like back to me, sort of their interpretation of my songs just was the sound that I was looking for. So I think that they would have to be the last artist that I sort of was, and it was so personal too. They were the last artist that really, changed my approach, I think.
I love that. And actually, that leads to another question that someone else sent in. This is from Hello Lads, who asks, are you planning on continuing to explore these Americana sounds in your future work, or are you thinking about something different?
I think, it's hard to say. I love to surprise people, and I love to go back to the drawing board. And I feel like every record I've made has been different than the one before it. And I really like to make every album a reaction to the last. So in that respect, I think it's kind of hard to predict, but I certainly have been writing a lot of songs lately that are sort of more in that realm. So I think hopefully I'm a long game person. I like been doing this for so long. I've been writing songs forever. And so I feel like you could hopefully expect both from me in the future.
So hello, lads. You heard it here first. The next Waxahatchee record is going to be either a British grime record or a SoundCloud rap record.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, Katie, Chris Bilius asks, and I love this question, have you met Lucinda Williams? How'd that go, if yes?
I sure have. Thank you so much for asking. This is my favorite topic to talk about. I have. I met Lucinda at a concert that she performed all of Car Wheels on a Gravel Road. And
classic. Legendary.
That was so cool. And then that actually led to me interviewing her. And funnily enough, Lucinda was one of the last people I hung out with before lockdown. Like I hung with Lucinda and I spent a whole day, several hours. I would say approximately 6 hours with her.
Oh my God.
I had dinner with her and her husband. We had such a beautiful hang, and she was so warm to me and just answered any question I had and just was very, very sweet and cool. And it totally changed my life. And then 3 days later, lockdown happened.
That is so awesome that you got that hang in. And I have to admit, I think you might have blown it by not including Lucinda in your quarantine pod.
That's true. Yeah, there you go.
Katie, Tim at Music asks, other than Kevin, who you've been collaborating with quite a bit, parenthetically, other than Kevin, who would you like to collaborate with in the future?
Oh my goodness, you know what? I have so many special collaborations that are in the works right now that I can't quite talk about, but I will just hint at it. I have some new songwriters, some old songwriters that I'm working on stuff with, and I think 2021 and 2022 there will be all kinds of fun collabs coming out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can you give us rhymes with Molly Martin?
It's so funny because if the one I'm thinking of, if I gave you a rhyme, you would absolutely know it. There's no way to spin that.
Oh man, I'm psyched about this. We'll be watching. This is a question, and I want to preface this, Katie, by saying, you and I have, we've hung out and we've worked together a number of times over the years, and I know that you are a humble person and you don't like taking accolades very much. So I want to acknowledge that, but I also want to ask you this question that Ben R. sent in, because this is something I really wonder about. When writing/recording this album, did you get the sense that you had something special? I'm clearly not alone in thinking this album is just remarkable, and I've always wanted to know if an artist ever had a sense when they were creating a masterwork.
That's so sweet. You know what? It's hard to say. I mean, I was actually just talking to Kevin about this today. We were talking about there's like a phenomenon when you're writing a record where every day you just have a different opinion about whether it's like the best thing that's ever been made or like the worst thing that's going to ruin your whole career. So it's
totally.
I actually sort of have a theory that when that's heightened, it's something really special. And I had that with St. Cloud, where I was I was like in love with it and tortured by it at the same time. And I really felt like I knew it was different. I knew it was unique, and it was, kind of like a different, I was approaching it with like an engagement with a certain level of truth that I don't think I'd quite gotten to before. And it was because I made a lot of changes in my life. I was just like really taking a different approach to a lot of different things in my life across the board. So it all felt sort of fresh and confusing. And when we heard it back in the studio, we were all so psyched, and, but I truthfully never in a million years thought it was going to be quite as well received as it was. And because I love it so much, and I always knew right from the beginning of writing the songs that they were my favorite songs I've ever written, the fact that it's been great. So well received is like extra special.
Well, that's awesome. I wonder, you talk about getting to this deeper level of truth, Katie, and I wonder, did you ever have a moment in maybe when you were cutting it with the band, or maybe when you were listening back to the mixes, where you thought, oh shit, I may have given too much away in this?
No, I'm so used to like putting it all out there. So,
totally. It's been years you've been doing it.
Yeah, totally. When I say engagement with truth, I mean like I was more honest with myself. I always sort of aired all my stuff, whether it was anger or, sadness or, all the sort of like beat around the bush details of personal relationships and stuff. I always was comfortable putting that stuff out there in like the name of art, but I feel like there's something a little bit that digs a little bit deeper on this one, and there's a real level of like self-reflection on it that felt kind of new for me.
I love that. Well, I know we just have a few more minutes before Alex Page comes on, but I'm just going to sneak in a couple more questions for you, Katie, because like Great. I say, your fans sent so many great ones in here. And I really like this from, excuse my pronunciation here, Echapanum. Katie, how did growing up in Alabama influence your songwriting? Parentheses, this comes from a fellow Southerner.
I think being Southern affects like my entire life, in really magical ways. I think that the South is like the most colorful, magical part of the world. And, so certainly like I think it just has like a big, big stamp on me, just like as I move through the world. But I think as a songwriter on this record specifically, I really went back to the music I grew up with, which is country music, classic country music, 90s country music, whatever it is, across the board. I revisited all that music in a really major way. So I think that stuff and just sort of the more traditional types of songwriting has really influenced me a lot, especially recently.
I love that. And at Choppin', there's a wonderful Talkhouse podcast episode with Katie and Whitmer Thomas actually discussing this question at length. Both artists from Alabama who have left and still think quite a lot about it.
Yes.
Let's see. Here is a question from Donosaurus Rex.
Ooh.
Katie, you've mentioned writing Fire, or at least coming up with it, on a road trip fairly quickly. Do the lyrics tend to come first to fit the theme of self-love, or did it come first and then the lyrics fit them? There's a few questions in there. But essentially what Donosaurus Rex is getting at is, what was your process for writing that track with Fire? Did you start with those lyrics that you heard in your head in the car?
That's a really good question. That song I've never written a song in the same way. So it doesn't really speak to my general process, but for that song specifically, I was on a road trip from Birmingham, Alabama to Kansas City, where I live, with my partner, and we were driving, and I got this melody in my head, and it was just kind of like I knew that it was something special, and I didn't want to forget it, but I also didn't want to draw too much attention to it. So I was kind of just trying to repeat it in my head as I was driving, which the melody does tend to come first and the lyrics later. But I was kind of coming up with placeholder lyrics as we were driving through Memphis, which you drive through to get to KC. And
did barbecue figure in at all as you were going through Memphis in your placeholder lyrics?
You know what? Somehow it didn't, even though I'm such a barbecue head. So it didn't factor in. But weirdly, and I come up with placeholder lyrics all the time that are absolutely crazy that I would be so embarrassed to share with anyone. But somehow the placeholder lyrics to Fire, it was a kismet thing. They just so happened to be the lyrics, at least for that first part of the song. So we pulled over shortly after Memphis, and I jotted it all down really quick and kind of recorded a quick voice memo, and then I came home and finished the song.
Beautiful. And there you have it. All right. Last question for you, Katie, before we head over to Alex Page. Will there be a reunion of P.S. Eliot? This came up a few times in the chat.
Wow, that's so funny. I kind of get further and further away from that band and think people are gonna not care anymore, and then they keep caring, which is kind of sweet. I like that.
Yeah, that's not the case.
We did reunite. I want to say in 2014, or maybe 2015, or maybe 2016. The years have really just blended together. A few years ago, in this last decade, we did reunite, and we did, we reissued our albums as part of a long compilation, and we played a handful of shows, and that was really fun, and felt like the time was really good, and so I don't feel immediately moved to reunite this old band, because I just have so many plans, and so many new things, and so I just feel like I'm really moving forward, and that would maybe feel a little bit like moving backward, but I haven't ruled it out in the future. I'm certainly still very close friends with all the people that were in that band, and so never say never, I guess.
I love it. Well, hey, Katie Crutchfield, aka Waxahatchee, big love. Thank you so much for an incredible performance and for chomping it up here on Bands in Town Plus.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you, man. Viewers, make sure to keep it locked for an incredible young performer who's joining us from Southern California in just a few minutes. Alex Page. We'll be right back.